Big marker meaning this kind of a marker. If you don't, let me know. I'll come get you one. Everybody should have some amount, 2 or 3 of these 3x5 cards, and everybody should have a small pad, maybe 4 or 5, maybe more, of sticky notes. If you do not, let me know, and I will come by and make sure we will use these tonight. And don't worry, I'll go into all sorts of over explanation about how to use them in a moment or two. Thank you. And I know Peggy mentioned that there is pizza. If you'd like to get it, if you can kind of get it now, and then we can get settled in and we will get started and we'll start recording our meeting and so forth. All right, thanks. Raise your hand if you need supplies. Oh, back in the back.
We also have seats available up here at this table if anybody would like to sit at a table.
Great idea. Let's encourage kids to see it.
Testing. All right, great. Well, once again, I want to welcome everybody here tonight. It's exciting to see so many faces and the positive energy in the room to talk about our wonderful town, which we all know and love. Tonight's visioning session is going to be about our 10-year strategic plan, and we want to get a lot of public input now. There'll be a process going on over the next couple of months as the town finalizes a draft of the strategic plan and then presents it to the community. So this is kind of the first step in that process. Some of you might be participating in focus groups, interviews, and we also have the community survey out there, which we've gotten, I don't know, 500 responses so far. So we really want to push that the next couple of weeks. So get your friends and family to take that. Just want to introduce our Board of Selectmen. This is an initiative that we started about 6 months ago. We've been talking about this for a while, but we were finally able to get things moving. Excited to be here tonight. So if I could just introduce, I see Scott Murphy. Want to raise your hand and say hello?
Hello.
And then Al Goldberg is here. And Bruce Wilson. And Jen Ford, who's our newest board member, who joined us at the beginning of this year. So it's been a great team effort. And then we also have a strategic plan advisory committee that we're going to be appointing. I know some of those members are here. If you want to raise your hand, I'm not sure who is here from the committee, but it's a mixture of community volunteers as well as chairs of other boards and commissions in town. So that committee will be kind of working with the consultant, pulling all the information together, taking the feedback and starting to draft that actual 10-year plan for our town. So with that, I will turn this over to the consultant that the town hired, S Friends Consulting. She's here all week working on a lot of different things for us, also as an expert facilitator, as we've learned. So, so she'll be great in terms of managing the conversation and making sure that all your views and opinions are part of the plan. So with that, I will turn it over to Sheryl.
Thank you very much. And I'd just like to echo, thank you for being here tonight. I have a very loud voice, and because I need to write at some points tonight, it might sound like I'm shouting a little bit. So the first thing I want to do is apologize if it feels like I'm shouting at you, because it may be the case. As Peggy mentioned, I'm Sheryl Trent, and I want to introduce myself just a little bit in a moment. But first, I also want to say we're being joined on Zoom. So we are being recorded. Just a general notice of warning, you are being recorded. And the individuals on Zoom won't be able to talk to us because of the microphone issues, AV issues in a situation like this, but they'll be participating by chat. And I have one of my professional facilitators, Anthony, in the chat room right now with everybody that is connected by Zoom. So if you're on Zoom, you're seeing me and listening to me, Anthony's your go-to person. We'll be checking in and making sure that the people on Zoom have a chance to participate as fully as possible. Sheryl Trent, I am a professional facilitator, but my background is in city and county government. Many years ago, I got my master's in public administration from the University of Washington in Seattle, and have worked my way sort of across the country since then. Landed in Colorado about 20 years ago, and my husband, who ended his 30-year career in law enforcement, said to me, I never again am going to shovel snow, and we have since moved to Florida. So I split my time between Colorado and Florida. But our work is done across the country. We've done work for the federal government, several state governments, divisions of state governments, towns, municipalities, cities, counties. That's just where our heart lies. And there are several of us that work with me, and so you may be seeing more than one of us at any given time here on the ground. And I have a quick PowerPoint, and it's not designed to share detailed information with you. So the town does have a website set up for their strategic plan. That's a nice place to go to learn any details. But any of the selectmen that Peggy pointed out, or I can spend any time you need answering any detailed questions. The goal tonight is to get you out of here in 2 hours. Of course, you might want to take more time. The group last night took a little more time. The library kicked us out. So I love those conversations, and I don't want to interrupt them. But as a facilitator, in the interest of time, I have an agenda planned for you that we'll cover. but I also want to make sure that we get you out of here if you want to leave at 8 o'clock. You can get up at any time. You can move around at any time. You can go grab something to get to eat or to drink at any time. Go to the restroom at any time. Leave early if you have to. Come back if you can. None of that's going to disrupt what we're doing. It's not that kind of a meeting. This is specifically to get your input on your vision for the future of the town, the community of Madison. That's the whole point and intent. I'll be asking a bunch of questions. You'll be giving me a bunch of answers. The reason you all, or most of you, not all of you quite, have a pen is because you will be writing many of those answers yourself. When you are talking and I am capturing what you're saying, not only are we recording it just to be sure, but I will be writing exactly what you say. So it's important that I capture and that you share what it is that you want to share, because that's the information that we will then use to start this process of strategic planning. So I know the strategic planning committee, can you hold your hands up again for me? Hi. I know at least one of the individuals on there is actually a strategic planning expert. So I'm kind of like scared over here on this side of the table, but I'm sure it'll be fine because I'm always right. But you have some really great people who have an investment in making sure the strategic plan truly reflects what the town of Madison wants. So that's my directive. And as a professional strategic planner and facilitator, that's what I do. And it gets kind of messy sometimes because I don't sit in Colorado or in Florida and do a plan. I could, and it would be really pretty and it would look good, but it wouldn't be your plan. So that's my goal. And Peggy already mentioned that we'll be back multiple times. At least one of those times will be to show this community in a situation like this, a draft of that strategic plan. So you can tell us if we did our job, if I did what I just said I was going to do, which is reflect what you want. So the survey, how many of you have taken the survey? Oh, thank you so much. If you haven't, this is an easy way to take it. Two ways. There's a QR code. If you're that type of person, just obviously take a quick snip of the QR code. It'll take you right to the online survey. You're welcome to take one of these home. This is what we call the postcard version. It only has 4 questions. So if you're one of those people that's like, there is no way in heck I'm getting online and taking a survey, please fill out the postcard. You can drop it back off at town hall. We have several of these here today, and we have more if you need them, but if you want to take one with you, please do. We've got them. The other thing that you might see around and about, especially over at town hall, are some little sticky notes. You have blank sticky notes tonight that we get to play with, but over at town hall, there are some sticky notes with some pre-printed questions. I brought a few just so you can kind of see them. Please take the time, if you're around and about or anybody else is around and about, have them answer the sticky notes and pop them back up. This is not statistically significant data. This is a preponderance of opinion type of data. This is perceptive data. So you can go to a focus group like y'all did last night and then show up at the visioning session and then take the survey. All of those things are what I would hope you would do. Sometimes when you get asked the question the first time, you have a good answer and then you think to yourself, oh my gosh, I forgot. Then you can take the survey and add that on, or send me an email and add it on. The important part is to get your voice out as part of the process. Let me stop there for a quick second. I typically move around. I'm trying to stay in one place so the camera doesn't really have to make people queasy on the far side. Before I get into the process and timeline, do you have any questions for me? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen for the people on Zoom so that they can see it as well. And it will show up here in half a second as being a share. And I should be able to control this. I'm about to put this down. My phone. If all my technology works well, this is exactly, oh, there it goes. It did see it. Perfect. Okay. So what I wanted to share with you is that we do have a logo for the strategic plan that we've marked all of our strategic plan documents with. So when you see the logo that's on the right-hand side, that will let you know this is a strategic planning issue. So you might see some yard signs around town. You might see some flyers. That will let you know that's about the strategic plan. Really quickly, this is what we're intending to do tonight. We're going to take a break at about 7 o'clock so you can stretch. And as always, get up, move around, do whatever you need to do to make yourself comfortable. But what I want to do pretty quickly is get right into the heart of our conversation this evening, which is the questions that I'd like you to answer. And so you can see we've got what I call boards set up around the room. It's a little tight, so we might even open the back door and walk out the back door and do some work, as long as it's not gonna rain on us and I can still breathe because of the smoke. So we have some room to work around, but our room's pretty tight because all of you showed up. Thank you. So we'll do a little bit of adjusting here. But that's the idea, is that we'll go through these questions around what the future of Madison might look like from your perspective. You'll tell me, or you'll tell yourselves and write it on the sheet, and we'll move on to the next question. We're big enough that I'm going to break you into different groups so that we have enough time to get to every question tonight. So this is the timeline. It's a little small, so you can always go on the website in more detail. As Peggy mentioned, the town has a long history of strategic planning, but they started this iteration of the strategic plan months ago. And I started working with the group on this plan 4 months ago. So in terms of planning ahead and designing the process, we will be doing and are doing currently some interviews, one-on-one confidential interviews. We're doing the focus groups. We have 3 left. One tomorrow morning over at the town campus at 8 a.m. One tomorrow evening at the town campus at 5:30. And a final one Friday from noon to 2 o'clock. And I believe that's back over at the library. So if you want to join then and have time, that's a smaller group of people. We're limiting it to 15 or so that can take a really deep dive into some issues. And then we did the survey. We also have talked to the employees and done an employee survey. And all of this information comes together along with our research and our study to a retreat, a strategic planning retreat with the town. Date to be determined early September. That's like a full 8 hours of sitting around talking about this information, talking about what's most important, and having that guidance then feed into the creation of the strategic plan, which is due, give or take, about mid-September, early October, to share with you all back in the format that I mentioned. It's my belief that you can have a beautiful strategic plan. It's completely worthless if it sits around doing nothing. And so we have an implementation section to the plan as well. That's the tactical operational piece. Think of it like a spreadsheet that says, David? He came last night. I'm shocked I remember that, quite frankly. That says David will develop an RFP for a study on whether Nike is better than ASICS for tennis shoes. It gets super detailed. That way, the town and the individuals who work for the town have the opportunity to put some motion behind some of these goals and ideas we're talking about tonight. If you're looking for detail tonight, you're going to be really disappointed. We're not going to get into any detail from my point of view. You may get into some detail in your conversations, but tonight's really about the big picture, the vision. So I want to talk to you a little bit about what the difference between a vision and a mission is. Clearly, this is way too small, so you can just ignore it, or maybe it's my bad eyesight. But if you focus on a vision as this aspiration for the perfect future, I understand that the perfect future may not be a reality today. It may feel like there's absolutely no way where we can accomplish what we'd like to accomplish. I don't see a path forward. But that's why you have a vision statement, so that you can start putting some actions and some goals to work to, over the course of time, accomplish that vision. Typically, visions are 20, 30, 50-year visions, and they are always, always very positive. Nobody ever writes a vision that says, nobody wants to live here, the schools are horrible, and there's absolutely no living vegetation. Nobody writes a vision like that. So tonight's going to be very much about the positive aspects. If you have issues that are frustrating, the surveys and the focus groups are the perfect spot for that. Tonight is more about the aspiration, inspiration, about what the town already is. We want to recognize that and honor it, but also what the town potentially could be from your point of view. And along that line, we're not here to debate. Bruce may think that Cheryl's the best facilitator ever, and your name, ma'am? Penny may think I'm horrible. That's okay, we're gonna write down both of those things, we're not gonna debate it, by the way, I'm the most. In other words, every idea is a good idea, and we're just gonna put it out there on paper, and we're not gonna debate it. The debate portion happens further along in the process as we start to refine the ideas. Tonight, every idea is a good idea. So we're not creating a mission statement, which is the purpose of the town. Why does the town exist? What does the town do? What's the job of the town? We're talking about a retirement plan vision where Sheryl sits on the beach with a little umbrella drink and somebody delivers that umbrella drink because Cheryl's not getting out of her lounge chair. That's the vision. Any questions or any help from people who've done this before on how you would describe a vision, what a vision is? You can and should feel free to help. I would like to think of myself
It's an ideal.
collaborative. It's an idea. Thank you. Keep going.
Ideal.
Ideal. Yep. We like to state it as if it currently is, as in we are whatever our vision statement is. I don't have an affinity for vision statements that say we're striving to be. You either are or you're not. So I like those that are really strong. What we're going to come up today with are the components of that vision statement. I doubt very much we, as this kind of a big group, will be able to craft a good vision statement. That's what I'm going to attempt to do with the help of the Strategic Plan Advisory Committee. And then that will be placed in the document for your review and for eventual consideration by the Board of Selectmen. 2 thumbs up. All right. Stop me at any time. I'm very visual, so the best way to stop me is to stand up or wave your hands. In the meantime, Anthony will be assisting people on Zoom, and because I have my phone, he will interrupt me with a text if needed that somebody on Zoom has a question that he might not be able to answer. But they're going to do exactly the same work that we're about to do, only they're going to do it on Zoom. We will then capture that in a report that we're going to do for this particular meeting, and you'll all be able to see that report as well. Okay, let's move into this. Let's assume, let me come back here for just a second. Yeah, please.
Sorry.
Of course.
So I'm curious, because we went through an exercise a couple of years ago. How are you gonna leverage that as input? And maybe the
Yes.
strategic planning committee has already started to do that. I don't know the answer to that, but how are you leveraging the existing information to kind of kickstart us in the process?
Thank you for that. Good question. Do you think that was captured, or should I repeat every question for you, Jeff? Would that be helpful? Oh, we're good? Okay. It's good to know. We caught his voice, so the Zoom people can hear it too, and the recording can hear it. So the answer is yes. All of strategic plans are really built on the foundation framework that came before. We want to know what worked well. We want to know what your current vision is, and if there's something we can do to improve that. We want to know, for example, there's a plan of, oh my gosh, thank you. I did it last night, the plan of conservation and development that the Planning and Zoning Commission is currently doing. So there's a beautiful big plan that's been done that's being updated. We need to make sure that the strategic plan links into that and takes that into consideration. We review all the documents that the town has sent us and will send us to continue to inform the process itself and make sure that if there is a different approach now than there was before, which is very common when you update strategic plans, that there's a reason and a background to a different word or a different approach that we're taking. We don't like to walk away from the work that you've done. There's just too much time and effort and energy and reality in that. And I'm hoping there's some really divergent views in the room tonight, so we can have a good, balance of ideas. I'm sure, and if there aren't, I'm gonna prod you a little bit to see if I can't get some of those out on the table. It's part of my job. So let's move into the future. Let's all assume it's 20 years from now, and we're all still here, right? Okay, make sure everybody's still here. We're all in the room together, and we're thinking back to all of these amazing things that happened in the past 20 years. And remember, we're keeping it all positive. Who would have imagined that this happened in Madison? Isn't that amazing? oh my gosh, that was just so wonderful. That was the most amazing, awesome, wonderful amenity ever that I could imagine. Keeping it all very positive. I'm gonna start asking you some questions about what it looks like, what it feels like. The first one I'm gonna do together, so you can have an idea of what I mean, and then I'm gonna break you into groups. So because I get to choose, I'm gonna choose the easy one. So for me and you in the room, the question that I'm about to ask you and that you're gonna answer for me, I'll give you some more instructions on how to best do this, is going to be 20 years from now, what does Madison feel like? Let's say I'm your long lost cousin and I haven't visited you in 20 years. And I give you a call and say, hey, I've got 3 weeks off. I'm gonna come visit you in Madison. And you're like, that's amazing, you're the best cousin ever. Come on down. And I ask you, well, describe Madison to me. What does it feel like? What kind of community is Madison? What does it feel like? In a minute, I'm gonna ask you what it looks like. I'm gonna ask you what you see visually. I'm gonna ask you what kind of people live here. I'm gonna ask you what kind of jobs are here. So I wanna stick with this emotional, what does it feel like? In a room this size, it's hard to do brainstorming, but that's what I'm gonna attempt to do. So Anthony online is already asking his people what it feels like, and they're putting words into the chat room. My back's gonna be a little bit towards you for a minute or two. So I'll go like one step down from brainstorming. But anybody at all, shout it out. What does it feel like in Madison 20 years from now? Perfect world, most amazing place ever.
Friendly.
Keep going.
Inclusive,
Comfortable.
Comfortable,
family oriented.
family oriented.
Celebrate.
Don't worry about my abbreviations. I'll come back and correct them. I'm sorry, celebrated?
Vibrant.
Vibrant. What else was there?
Safe.
Safe.
Scenic.
Scenic.
Neighborly.
Neighborly.
Charming.
I heard green, I heard charming. What did I miss there?
Changing.
Rural and changing.
Accessible.
Uncongested.
Uncongested and, hold on a second, that's a long word. By the way, did I mention spelling doesn't count? And accessible. What did I miss?
Quaint.
Quaint, thank you.
Small.
Small, thank you. What else?
Sustainable.
Sustainable. What else?
Diverse.
Diverse. What else?
Affordable.
Welcoming, I missed one in there, sorry, what did I miss there?
Entertaining.
Entertaining. Thank you, what else?
Interesting.
Affordable.
Affordable and interesting,
Historic.
and historic.
Environmentally protected.
Environment, I like your loud voices, by the way, thank you, I really do appreciate that. Environmentally.
I like
protected.
that, no longer biodiverse for that,
No longer biodiverse, is that what you said?
right?
Thank you, what else?
Biodiverse.
Nicely done, too. What else?
Bicycle paths.
Bicycle paths.
Shoreline
Okay, and-
accessible,
I'm sorry, what was that?
beachfront accessible.
Beachfront accessible, I'm gonna stick with what does it feel like? We're gonna get into the physical infrastructure in a minute.
So far.
I'm gonna write it down, but hold it and repeat it for me when I get to the other part, right?
Energetic.
Energetic,
Easy to navigate.
easy to navigate,
Recognizable.
recognizable,
Healthy.
healthy,
Open to all.
open to all,
How about home?
home, thank you.
Decent and quiet.
Was it peaceful and quiet or decent and quiet?
Peaceful and quiet.
Thank you. What else?
Nice.
Let me stop for a second, and I need to ask a few questions because some of these words mean different things to different people. So only answer the question if you were the one that told me, because there's going to be some differing opinions here. So for example, what does small mean to the person that said that?
Well, I said that, I guess the same feeling that it has today to me, that I'm in a small town.
So it feels small, but that doesn't have anything to do with maybe a population.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. What about the one that said quaint? What does that mean in terms of a feeling?
That it's small in feeling, that there's you can walk from here to there and that's all there is.
Thank you. Okay. Affordable. What does affordable mean to the person that said that?
Low taxes.
Low taxes. What does diverse mean to the person who said that?
It means America, it means whatever we all want.
So every version of diverse that I would throw out, you would say yes to. I'm gonna write the word yes here, that's for me. So in case you're wondering, every version of diverse to me means age diversity, race diversity, income diversity, health diversity, where I was educated diversity, what language I speak, what the whole realm of diversity, my gender identification. Let's get it all out on the table, right? Diversity, okay. Inclusive, what does inclusive mean to the person that said that?
Everyone feels welcome.
The standard definition, thank you. All right. Are there any other words out there that anybody needs a definition for?
Biodiverse.
Biodiverse. The person who said biodiverse, I know it was in reaction to the person that said no longer biodiverse. But what does that mean to you to say biodiverse?
Biodiverse would mean natural plants to cool the temperature, to provide oxygen, insects and birds to pollinate our food, visit our gardens, trees to absorb stormwater and lessen flooding risks. And biodiverse people.
You sound like me, because water quality is one of the biggest issues for me.
Right.
And having lived here 75 years, it has gone downhill. There's plenty of nitrogen.
I'm gonna come back to that.
Okay.
So,
I agree with that.
not to worry. Is there anything else around feeling you want me to capture? Yes, sir.
Yeah, since we have a
No, that's- yes.
specific definition of affordable as relating to taxes, I'd like to add another item, affordable as it relates to housing.
Okay, thank you. Now, keep in mind, this won't be your last chance to throw things, if you will, up on the board. So if you come up with something later, like I said, email me, drop it in the survey, mention it when you review the plan, whatever works for you. Okay, I'm gonna move on to my next set of questions, and in order to make this work well, I'm gonna break you into smaller groups. So for right now, because we're so packed tightly, we're gonna group you by table first. And those of you who aren't at a table, I'll probably split this group. Are you two together? Perfect, I'm gonna split you up. I'm gonna have you go with this group, and you're gonna go with this group generally. Start on the ends. What's your name? Thank you. I'm gonna group you with this sort of general group of people back in the back there. Right?
I always say half an hour.
That is perfectly fine. Nope, doesn't matter at all. Anything, any information you have is great. And then the group back there sitting together, I think you're a good group too. So kind of figure out yourselves how you wanna, maybe you wanna go outside, you can walk out in that room out there
I
if you
think
need
to
to
join our
make some
table, a
space.
small group.
But that's table, I'm gonna break you into groups of two. I know how excited you are to do this, but I'm not quite done with my instructions. I'm gonna break you into a 1 table and a 2 table.
See you, Jeff.
Question number 1 is gonna be different than question number 2. So you're a 1 table, you're a 2 table. You're a 1 table, you're a 2 table. You're a 1 table, you are a 2 group. You are a 1 table, you are a 2 table. You are a 1 table, you are a 2 group. You are a 1 group, you are a 2 group. Sorry. Who did I miss? Anybody? Okay. Question for all of the ones is going to be very related to what we just did. Question for the ones that are, what do you see? I'm talking about built environments, right? But it could also be natural environment. What do you see? I gave you some suggestions. Don't take my suggestions. What do you see? Buildings, amenities, what's different? Somebody mentioned a pool. You talked about beach access. Again, this is your perfect vision of the future, table ones or group ones. What do you see? Group twos, who lives here? I want to be hyper specific about who lives here. What type of people live here? What's their demographic? What's their age range? Maybe where do they come from? How would you describe the people that live here? So that's group two. So group one and group two. Any questions? One person is just gonna have to kind of take maybe some general notes and remember, because I'm gonna ask you to report out so we can then record it. I wanna give you a full 10 minutes.
Yeah, and the hard part is I don't think anyone knows what that is yet. And so that's kind of,
In 4 seconds. All right. Group two, you're now gonna answer the question, what do you see? What kinds of buildings or? That was group one. Right, that was group one. Group one is moving on to your group two question, so don't let me confuse you. Let's do this a different way. Group one, now tell me what kind of people live here. Group two, tell me what do you see? This is your perfect vision of the future. 20 years, 30 years, wait, you can't come back and say, oh, I guess they can. Okay. So number one's question is, who lives here? Who lives here? What kind of person lives here? And group two's question is,
Younger.
what do you see? What kind of buildings, facilities, amenities do you see? Alright, let me have you stop your conversations. I'll give you some instructions on how I'd like to get your feedback. We've got the group coming back in from outside. So we have 2 questions. Don't make me use my outside voice, you won't like it, I promise you. I also have a whistle in here. It's one of those referee whistles, hyper annoying. All right, so we had 2 questions, and each table took on both questions. In order to speed the process up just a little bit, the way I'm gonna get your feedback is this. I want you to take a minute and kind of collect your thoughts at the table. Maybe pick one person, everybody can, it doesn't matter to me, to tell me what you came up with. But we're gonna start with the question about what did you see, and each table is gonna give me one answer. And we're gonna go around the tables until we collect all the answers, but it's gonna be one answer per table as we skip around. That way, what will happen is if you have similar answers, you won't have to repeat yourself, right? And then we'll move on to the second question and do the same thing.
You're gonna find a lot of people.
Are you all prepared for this mayhem that's about to occur? I'm not sure I am. So the question is, what do you see? Your voice is gonna have to be relatively loud and everybody else is gonna have to be hyper respectful. There is a question in the corner. Yes, sir.
No, the answer.
Oh.
Our group is.
No, you're already there.
One thing.
A little bit. So the camera can see it for those people watching recording. All right, a little respect. Someone else is about to speak. I don't know who from that row is going, but tell me one thing that you see.
A vibrant and family-oriented downtown.
Vibrant and family oriented. I can't spell today. I can't spell any day. This is gonna be my common theme all week long. That group back there.
No tall building.
No, and what does tall mean to you? 2 stories and over, or? Yeah. 2 plus? All right, this group right here. Quiet, please.
That Tungus Pond reimagined, celebrated, and utilized as a destination.
Did I spell this right? My team from last night. Reimagine and used as a destination. Location. Thank you. That table right there. Anything from this table?
Yes, and we'd love for.
Okay, if you guys can be honest, if you can be quiet, we want to be quiet when you speak. So if you can be quiet when someone else speaks, that would be lovely. Thank you. Please.
We'd love our town green to become more of a hub of activity with, quaint stores and restaurants, but not big box.
A hub of activity, quaint stores. That table back in the corner there.
Celebrated, restored, and expanded natural spaces.
Natural stasis?
Spaces.
Spaces. Thank
Like
you.
marshes.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. This table right here.
Primarily single family home.
What kind of single family homes?
Primarily.
Primarily.
Family home.
Single family homes. Okay. The team that was back up against the wall back there.
A good community center that is well run with events, programs, and family concerts.
Well run with family programs and a what?
Family concerts and events, programs.
Programs, events, concerts. Okay. Thank you. This table right here. Hey y'all, I honestly, she's right here and I can't even hear her. Increase the amenities in the northern part of town. Thank you.
Couldn't hear it.
Okay. She, yeah, because you were talking. I'm just kidding. Increase the amenities, she also has a great quiet voice. Increase the amenities in the northern part of town such as grocery stores, retail, etc. Shopping, restaurants, shopping, etc. Thank you. This, you'll see some shorthand here. It's my own version of shorthand. Did I skip your, I did not. I got your table. Did I get your table? Okay, perfect. I got the wall. I got y'all. How about y'all right there?
Yeah, more housing of all kinds, not just single family, appropriate to our town.
You guys are giving me entire sentences. I like it. Not just single family, appropriate to our town. Not just single family. And of course, the question becomes, well, what do you mean by appropriate? We'll get there. Appropriate to our town. Okay? How about this table right here?
Public transit throughout town.
There we go. One public transit throughout town. Thank you. How about this table right here?
And this wasn't for me, this is more open space and houses with lots of green space in between them. So we're looking at trees, fields, clean water, and walking paths, and natural
He did
beaches.
this last night too. He kind of had 14. I asked him for one thing, but get 14 things.
You got me.
Giving it to us?
Yeah, it was inside the standard. No.
Okay. How about,
My public transit throughout town is supposed to include sidewalks and bike paths. I'm sorry.
we will come back to that. This two right there.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time mentioning a community with much improved infrastructure, like water district and
Sewer,
Railway
Internet.
station.
trains.
connectivity with the railway station, yeah.
Okay, did I get one all the way around? Did everybody, oh, the team, I thought I got you on the back
We
wall.
want to, sorry, no, you already want who lives here?
No, we're still on what do you see.
I'm ready for.
I All right, I'm gonna go around at least once or twice more. I'm just gonna do it a little bit quicker. I'm gonna kind of rely on you all to do it so I can face this way. So whatever that general order was, the tall team in the back there, what else do you see? They don't see anything. We'll come back to you.
We're trying to nail it down because our slopes.
Oh, he left you. I can come back to you all if you want to think about it. We'll come back. Okay. This small, the sitting down group right here.
Maintain historical monuments, buildings and homes.
Maintain historical monuments. Okay, next group, whoever that is, go ahead and go.
Town pool.
A town pool. The next group, whoever that was, go.
Well-staffed police force.
A what, wait?
Well-staffed police force.
A well-staffed police force. The next group, whoever that was, please go.
The beaches stay and they don't disappear.
The beaches stay and they don't disappear. Got it. Next group.
Historic buildings and scenic roads.
In other words, that's exactly what you see.
Yes.
Okay. You have a lot of those already too, right? Next group, please go.
Non-residential tax base north of 95.
It's commercial development north of 95. Yeah, okay. Don't let me speak. I wrote non-residential tax base. I'm gonna write exactly what you say, but that's kind of what you mean, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What, next team?
Community spaces.
Community spaces. Thank you. I was with a group 2 nights ago and they said crayon. You heard me just say crayon. They said crayon. And I had no idea what was going on for like 2 whole minutes. I had no idea what they were talking about. Community spaces, thank you. Who did we miss? Anybody else?
Shoreline train access.
Shoreline train access.
Continued shoreline train access. And service.
Yeah, and service, would be nice, right? Access and service. Anybody else? And I'm gonna go around one last time to see if we didn't catch
More
one
light
thing.
industry,
Yeah,
Hold on, this,
more light industry.
more light industry? And I know the tall group in the back, did you come up with one?
Yeah, we'd like to see more family farms and farm-related events.
Farm-related events. Who did I miss the second go around? Go
right
ahead
here,
and go.
more amenities at our parks and beaches.
More amenities. Is that like physical amenities, not programming?
Yeah,
Okay, thank you. All right, I'm gonna run one more time in case we missed something. If you don't have anything to say, you can just say pass, if we pretty much captured it all up here as you were talking. So, skipping you guys again, because we're gonna come last to you now. We group down here and just start working your way around. If you have something, if you don't, you can say pass.
Yes, small shops and restaurants, no big box stores.
Next group.
This question is under, what does the town sound like? Maybe a noise ordinance on all the,
Oh, okay.
phasing out all the gas powered lawn equipment and phasing into all electric.
Notice, I got you. Noise ordinance, no gas powered, moving to electric. Keep going through the.
Better access to natural gas and city water in more parts of the town.
When you say city water, you're not talking about well water.
Right.
Okay, just to be sure, I'm clear on it. Okay, any other groups? Keep going.
Better internet access.
Yes.
Work from home crowd.
Okay, keep going around.
How about roads other than the main street kept well? Especially old Route 79.
Well,
Always neglected.
other than Main Street.
Yes.
Perfect. What else?
Universal.
walking trails and bike lanes.
Okay, this has come up 3 times now, so if you have walking trails and bike lanes, I got it.
Yes. Universal design for living, the entire town building and services are accessible.
Universal design for living, accessible. We'll come back to that in just a second. Anything else?
Yeah, more
Public
activities.
waterfront access.
Hold on a sec, gentlemen. Somebody started over here really quick. You didn't start? You already went.
Yeah.
There's a twitch. Go.
We want to maintain or increase public waterfront access.
Public waterfront access. Got it. Is there any like burning things that you've got that I didn't capture?
Yes.
Hold your hand up. Why do I know you would have one?
Dark skies, that
Dark
is less
skies.
light pollution in town. It was her idea.
All right, ma'am, ma'am, yours.
Activities for
Yeah.
kids.
Hold
Can
on,
you give
I
examples?
can't hear.
Because there is no housing around that allow anybody to work.
So she basically said she can't find any employees in town as a business owner because there's no housing.
Exactly.
So I'm looking for a job. So, workforce housing, employment, and then there was a hand over there.
Increased tourism development for economic development and
I'm gonna totally misspell Hammonasset, I'm so sorry. Now, thank you. Okay. You can come up and add to this. We are gonna have to move on. I will take 3 more and then we're gonna cut this off because we have to move on. Sorry, you were too late. I've got 1, 2, 3. Nancy first.
Stop waving the pride flag and wave the American flag.
Okay,
yeah.
That is cool.
okay, what else? There was a hand.
To support future vehicles, electric vehicles.
Infrastructure for EV. Okay, I'm gonna take 1 more. Bruce's hand was up and then we're done. You have a pen. You can come up and write during the break, no problem.
Storm-proof utilities.
Store-proof utilities. Okay. Oh, you can see how much fun we can have with this. For EV, I have to remember what I'm writing. I'm gonna back the slide. You can see how much fun we can have with this and how much in depth, but I have like 4 more questions for you tonight. So what I wanna do now is take like a 3-4 minute stretch break. If you have something to add, write it on a sticky note for me or come right on up and write it right down here. We will add it. If you already have it written down, just bring it up and I'll make sure it captures it.
Yeah,
Okay?
that didn't get
Let's
mentioned
take
at
a
all.
quick stretch. is of course, who lives here? And I'm gonna give you some more specific instructions to help me capture it better. So what I want is more of a headline this time. So for example, if you're gonna say families live here, that's a great headline. Try to keep it to a description of the actual people, not what the people are doing, because I can see where we're headed in this direction. That'll just take me a little too much time tonight to get through that with you. So an example answer could potentially be young families. It could be senior citizens. It could be young couples. It could be individuals. It could be business owners live here. It could be the people who work in my retail stores live here. You can give me age categories. You can give me demographic information such as income information, right? Anything is fair game. You already heard something come up tonight that's potentially relatively, that could be taken in a way that may not be as positive. That was the issue about the American flag versus the pride flag. Again, my rules of conduct are as long as you're respectful, you can say things that are important to you in your vision for the future, if that's truly your vision for the future. Those of us in the room that would normally take offense to that, we're sort of suspending belief for the conversation of the fact that this is a vision conversation. Your vision is not going to match my vision. It just won't, because we're two different people, right? So do feel free to express those types of things. Just kind of keep it within the bounds of human kindness, right? That's all I'm going to ask, because there are going to absolutely be people in the room who that affects personally. So having said that, as we get into this conversation about who lives here, if you get a little bit off track, I may kind of wander over and like try to redirect the conversation when I get too far off track. Not in the interest of silencing your voice, just in the interest of maintaining some sense of human dignity. Okay. I've been asked to start on this side of the room. So the question about who lives here, let's see if y'all can give me a really good headline and set the role for the rest of the conversation.
Could you make the board more perpendicular to me?
Not my wife.
Oh, no, you can leave it. No, I'm.
Right? This is
There's-
important to writing.
Oh.
So if it's in the way.
No, I just want to be able to see what you're writing.
Yeah, not my word.
Okay.
So who lives here? Seniors. What? What?
Wait,
Yeah, that team right there.
young adults 20 to 35.
Oh, no, that's a good headline. I like the way you headline that. So young adults, 20 to 35? Okay, I'm gonna go to the team right there. Who lives here? They are so not prepared for this.
Families.
Where did I go wrong? I'm sorry, who lives here?
Families.
Families live here. All right, this group right in front? Seniors live here. Thank you. I'm gonna go to this group right there.
We have an engineer who said a bell curve, and that means multi-generational, young, many in the middle, and seniors. And somebody who doesn't like people said fewer people.
Your second answer, that group, that table right behind you.
Yeah, people of all races and ethnicities.
People of all races and ethnicities. Y'all are just my spelling skills. The team sitting against the wall.
We're gonna say people who can afford to live here, whether they rent or buy.
Can afford to live here, whether they rent or buy, okay? The table right there.
Employed persons.
Employee what?
Employed persons.
Oh, employed persons. I thought you said employee and I couldn't figure out how to write that right now. Employed persons, thank you. This table right here.
Citizens involved with local issues.
Citizens involved with local issues. That table right there, all right, you're up.
Would like to buy a vowel?
Hey, what's up with farmers? Farmers. That has A in it. Totally impressed. Got you guys, I got you guys. This team right here.
Commuters of all kinds, train, car, bus, remote.
So work from home is included there. Okay. All right, work from home, so remember the second half of that group, if there's anybody left in that second half of that same group. Young professionals. Young professionals. You keep raising your hand like I can't see you. I can see you. The tall team in back. I'm calling them tall because most of them are standing up at the time, so. Go ahead, team, standing team.
An informed and engaged citizenry.
Informed and engaged citizenry. Now, I'm gonna come back around, I want you to think really hard. If it's already up here, don't say it again, but if you need to add, like, my years of seniors is like 70 plus, let's do that, but let's not say seniors again. Give me a good example. Who lives here? Oh.
People of all abilities, neurodiverse and physical.
Okay. People of all abilities. I'm gonna put ND for my neurodiverse and physical. Whatever the next group was in line, it was y'all back here, I think.
We wanted to have more service workers able to live here.
More service workers. So by service workers, people that work in restaurants, people that work in hotels. That, okay, perfect. I believe you guys were next. Empty nesters. Okay, perfect. And then the table right behind you.
All different occupations.
All different occupations. Okay. I think it
People
was
with diverse income levels.
diverse income levels. I don't even remember who is next. I'm going to the team against the wall.
We'll say people 2 to 102 and their younger siblings.
You're talking about me. The table right here.
All religions. All religions. All religions.
All religions. Thank you. I got you guys? Perfect. Got you guys. Let's go back.
Respectful neighbors.
Respectable neighbors. How about the table behind you?
People who are considerate, trustworthy, civic-minded, communal.
Considerate.
You went with the table over there.
Just combine them all. Considerate, trustworthy, civic-minded, and something?
Communal.
And communal. This one right here.
Artists.
I was gonna ask if you didn't say it, artists. The second half of that group, we're all covered. The tall group,
Environmentalists.
environmentalists, all right. I'm gonna stop here in the interest of time. If you have something, I can spell environmentalist, but I know what that means. I can't talk and spell at the same time. So if you have something else you wanna get on here, write it on a sticky note, or just come on up and write it before you go home tonight. The other thing I'm gonna ask you to do, if you feel comfortable, not required, we're just trying to get an idea of who's here. So I'm gonna create a sign-in sheet that looks just like this, oddly enough. Sign-in sheets. If you wanna put your contact info, you can, but we'd love to have your name. You do not have to share any of this. This is not some sort of a requirement. I'll stick it out in sort of the lobby area on the way out. We avoid it entirely by going out the back door. Okay. Now what I am gonna have you do is do some individual work with your sticky notes, because I wanna ask you the next series of questions. So we talked about what do you see, what do you feel, who lives here? What I wanna know is, based on all of this information, what kind of jobs are actually in Madison? This is your perfect world of the future. This is your vision of the future. Think about what you just told me. We know what you want it to feel like. We know what you see in Madison. We know what kind of people you want to have live here. So tell me, what kind of jobs are here? So take a sticky note or yourself, use a nice thick marker so I can read. My staff kills me when I don't use thick markers. And write however many ideas you want on however many sticky notes you want to write them on. I want to give you about 5 minutes to do this, and then I'm just going to collect your sticky notes.
Is it one per sticky note?
You can do one per sticky note if you want to, but that is not a requirement.
Francesca, did you have anything to add or that you wanted to add? I saw you unmute your mic for a second. Oh, you're muted again. I can't hear you. If you want to write what kind of jobs are in Madison in the chat box, you can do so too. If you don't have anything to add, then that's okay. I just wanted to make sure that I captured something if you did want to say something. You're still muted.
Sure, well, where will
Here we
we
go.
shop? I admit I dropped some dollars in the store this week, right? So you can name a specific shop if you want. You can describe the type of shopping. But you can also tell me where that shopping might be physically located, right? So it might be downtown. You mentioned some other locations. So that's one of the questions. Hold on a second, I will give you very specific instructions. I like the enthusiasm, though, thank you. I want to let you know, we're also going to get to where will we eat, and we will also get to what will we do for fun, okay? So we're going to get to those, because fun might be, for me, shopping, fun for you might be going to the theater, or playing ball, or being on the beach, right? So I'm going to come to those too. So in this case, about the where will we shop, again, it can be what kinds of stores by name, what kinds of stores generally, it can be an actual location of store. What I want you to do is go back to your kind of general group conversations. And then I want one person to take one of those white 3x5 cards and capture the top 2 or 3 things that came out of your conversation, right? This is going to be a little bit quicker paced given the time frame. So take your time. I'm going to give you about 5 or 7 minutes to check in with you.
So the question is really, right, in its perfect vision of the future, where do you go to shop? Again, if I was your friend and came to visit you, and I said, hey, where are you gonna take me shopping? I'm not writing that one down, I can't possibly experience. Okay, that's what I'm writing down. Okay. Are you ready to listen to each other? I'm ready?
Yes.
Where are you gonna shop? Tell me. Go ahead.
Locally.
Locally. What else? Trader Joe's. What else?
North Madison.
Madison.
Bakery, private bookstore.
Bakery, and bakery. Private bookstore. Independent retailers.
Yeah, farmers market.
Farmers market. You guys have a farmers market, right? When is it? Friday. I'm gonna be here. I'm so excited. Okay, where else? Affordable children's clothing. Outlets. And I heard outlets, so hang on a second while I get caught up. Outlets in Clinton.
Goodwill.
I know. I'm sorry.
Goodwill.
Clinton outlets. Hold on. Oh. That was my outside voice at a very low level, just so you know. I got a little lost. I can't tell if outlets is being sarcastic or not. Do you want to shop in the outlets that are here, or are you shopping in the outlets that are in Clinton?
Clinton.
Want to, what we do. Okay. All right, just checking. In this perfect vision of the future, keep going. Where do you shop?
Regionally,
Regionally?
yeah, shoreline, Branford.
Yes.
Okay. And there was a
Bishops.
Bishops, thank you. I was gonna say a specific name. All right, what else? Organic. What was that? What?
Farmers market in the north.
Farmers market. I'm gonna add it separately. Farmers market in the north.
Consignment stores.
Okay, what else? There's a lot of background noise. Honestly, I can't hear you and the recording is not gonna pick this up. So if y'all can tone down the background noise for me, that would be awesome. Yes.
I would like to shop in the vicinity of Wall Street, Bradley Road, 79 and Main Street, that square.
Okay, I'm gonna call it square.
Nice.
Shop in
Just
the
that
square. Okay.
Just.
Where else?
Sampson Rock.
I want to shop at the farms.
At the farm. Okay.
Did we say North Madison?
Everybody said North Madison multiple times. Yep. Somebody started with something and I started it. It was over here. You started as Jane.
Consignment store.
Jay Horton.
Yeah.
Jay Horton. Thank you. It's a sign store. Correct?
No.
No, that was separate. Hardware store. Hardware.
Yeah, thrift shop.
Thrift shop.
Sporting goods.
Sporting goods.
We want to see gateways at east and west end of Route 1.
You're gonna have to repeat that. I couldn't hear it.
Gateways at east and west of Route 1.
Gateways.
The east and west parts of the town. We always talk about north and south, but
And
we haven't talked
east
about east and west.
and west of Route 1. Thank you. Anything else you want me to capture before I move on?
North Madison Brewery.
Highly specific, wondering why. Everybody's been waiting for this one. This is the eat question. I'm not gonna have you talk about it. I'm not gonna have you work on it. I'm just gonna have you tell me, because I'm pretty sure you know. What I want to do is go person by person this time. I'm specifically going to point to you. If you have something, tell me. We're going to go around the room once and then once more, and then we'll be done with the eat question. But I want to go person by person and make sure I capture it. I'm pretty sure you all already know the answer to this question. In your perfect vision of the future, where is it? Any type of restaurant or specific location that you're going to be eating?
Family friendly.
Thank you.
I mean, we need more restaurants here. I don't know if it's because of drainage or what the problems.
I'm gonna move on to the next person. Where are you gonna eat?
Mediterranean cuisine.
Mediterranean, I can't spell that. Mediterranean, I can't spell that. I can spell Mediterranean. Where are you gonna eat?
Old schoolhouse bill.
Old Schoolhouse Deli, where are you gonna eat?
Hyatt.
Thank you, I'm skipping Sherry. Where are you gonna eat? Just tell me, right there.
At the wharf.
Jesus, right.
Can you just run and get us and say somehow there's an acquaintance? You, sir?
I'm gonna shake things-
Hold on a second, I can't hear.
I'm gonna shake things up. Memorial Town Hall is a high-end restaurant.
Memorial Town Hall as a high-end restaurant. Yes,
James Madison House, which is the
James Madison,
currently
right
awesome
there,
restaurant in
yeah.
North Madison.
Coming to you, ma'am, Penny? Or Barbershop? I can't spell that either, I'm just gonna put a B in and I'll come back to you. B-A-R-C-H. I'll come back. Yes, ma'am?
Well, I have two.
One, please.
What about you about the street with my
No problem. Good Italian. Okay. Keep going around that table because my back is now to you.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, he took her in.
Anybody else at that table that I missed? Food trucks. Nice. I'm gonna come to you, sir.
MJ's.
MJ's. Thank you for abbreviating things. You can come up and tell me what they mean later. Farm to table. Farm to table. Thank you. Where are you eating?
I'm with Mr. Manners at the work.
At the wharf. Going back to the wharf.
I'm with her, so I'm at the wharf.
Wait a minute, stop. Very back row against the wall.
Friends and company.
Friends and company. Friends and Co. Next.
New Italian restaurant.
A new Italian restaurant. I've got a plus there.
I really like a nice crusty baguette.
How do you want me to capture that in terms of where you're gonna eat? Bakery, thank you. That's a good catch. Where is this table gonna eat? Where are you gonna eat?
Bill's Seafood.
Bill's?
Oh, Bill's, not Bill's, Bill's. There you go, honey, thank you.
You're gonna correct me on this later right now, sir.
Madison Coffee Hut.
Ah, yes, I was there too.
You're already in for home.
Already in for home. Ma'am? Haymar Burger. Haymar Burger.
Haywire.
I'm telling you, my hearing is going, I have no idea what's up.
Okay.
Ma'am?
Pass.
Pass. This table right here, gentleman with the beard.
You, this is you.
The first gentleman with the beard. Face the China. Keep going around that table for me.
I would like a new BYOB restaurant.
New BYOB. Next.
Durham, Connecticut.
Durham, Connecticut. Next, please. B-Wall. B.
Seafood restaurant.
Seafood, thank you.
At the beach.
At the beach, yeah, nice. I'm gonna come to you now.
Organic small plates at like cocktail or wine bar.
Small plates at a wine bar. Thank you, next.
Country French.
Country French, there's a baguette in there somewhere, I know there is. Sir?
Oh, friends.
Nice. Here?
Noodle Bar.
New bar. Nice. Nice. Waterfront, anyone waterfront? Waterfront, I can see a theme emerging, sir.
Any of the new foodie places brought in by the 20 to 35.
To the 100.
The certain town facility at Salt Meadow Park, leased to a high end.
You're fine, it's just me. Town facility at Salt Salt Marsh Park?
So.
Salt Meadow, thank you. Least to a high end.
Looking at the Hammonasset River.
Do you have any type of restaurant or just high end is good? Perfect, sir. Was there somebody around the corner? Jail, never mind. Moving on. Sam?
Ice cream.
Ice cream, next. Next to that? Perfect, I'll put a plus there, next to that.
Outdoor dining.
Oh, we gotta skip there and come back to you, sir.
Serve the table.
Serve the table. Next,
How about your kitchens, because you're gonna have delivery from restaurants that deliver.
yep,
Pet friendly restaurants?
that's friendly, thank you. Anything else over there at this table? All right, what I will do is renege on what I just said, and I'm just gonna go around once. So if I miss something again, feel free to take your time and write it down. We've got a good mix there. It's interesting that restaurants are very important to the communities that I visit. And it's almost like a reflection of the town, the people that live here, the types of restaurants that are here. When you go through town and you look at the restaurants, you can get a really good idea. Okay. In the interest of time, to get you out of here at 8 o'clock, I have a question for you. Our next question would normally be, where would you go for fun or entertainment? And if you don't mind, what I would suggest is my final question is probably one of the most important ones, which is, what do you want to preserve? Right? Because we can talk about this visioning all we like, but there are certain things that you want to maintain and preserve no matter what. So with your permission, I'm gonna again just ask you to take a 3x5 card, and if you have any ideas about what you're gonna do for fun or entertainment, label the top fun for me, and then write down what comes to your mind when you think about fun or entertainment. Again, this is your perfect vision of the future. Kind of builds on itself tonight, right? Because you told me who you want to live here. So there might be, for you, it might be theater, or it might be you're gonna go walking or hiking on the trails. There might be some things you might want to do with your family, or perhaps with your parents or grandparents that are in town. It might be live outdoor music at one of your outdoor eating venues. Anything that you want it to be, right? Just fine. So take a minute and on a 3x5 card, jot that down for me. And instead of talking about it, I'll just collect it. And then we'll go on to the preserve question.
I'm gonna tell you kind of the what's next piece. So I had a plan for about, 30 people to be here, so it's so cool to have everybody here, and I just, again, want to take a minute and say thank you for that. My plan would originally have been that in your own pens, you would walk up to the preserve board and write on it what you wanted to preserve. It's not gonna work as well as I'd hoped it would, but I'm still gonna make it work. This is gonna be one of those things like wedding eating, where table 1 goes to eat, and then table 2 goes to eat, and so forth. But I do want you to take a moment, and I want you to write, yeah, Peggy's like, I am out of this space. The forewarning I gave will ship you these around for sure. So think to yourself about what it is about the community right now today, that no matter what, even if everything that we talked about tonight happens, you want to preserve this. This is really important to you, right? Don't come up with a list of 25 things, because that will take too long for you to write. Come up with a list of, say, 3 to 5 things, and make it a headline. Don't make it a sentence. So if, for example, one of the most important things to you is to preserve the whole historic buildings, write down historic buildings. Beach access, write down beach access, right? Whatever it is that's important to you. So take a minute and think about that, and then I'm gonna have the tables one by one come up and write, and then go back and sit down. I'm only gonna give you about 30 seconds or so to write, so that's why you're gonna have to keep it to 2 or 3 things. At the end of the night, when we talk about what's up on the preserve, if we miss, hey, I'm gonna separate you all of that group, I swear. They can't sit next to each other at any other meetings we're at. If I miss something, if we miss something, we can always add it. And remember, this is kind of the first part of the process. You can always take the survey, you can always send me an email, you can always write it up and leave it with me tonight, right? So, really super clear on the question. I am actually gonna start with the table that's closest, and then move to this table, and then move to this table. So that's the order. It's one of those where you're kind of, self-managed. If I need to tell you to get up, I will. I definitely, please go, if you know, please go. Use your big pens. Again, we're gonna be transcribing this as well as taking photos. You are welcome to take photos for yourself of any of the work that we did tonight, except I have all your fun things in my pocket, so you won't be able to take photos of the fun things. Other than that, you're welcome to take photos of any of the boards. All right, this table, please stand up and make your way. This table right there, please stand up and make your way. This table right there. All of us? Yes. Oh, he's doing it all for you?
He's kind of representing us.
Yeah.
Wow, have you seen his handwriting?
He said this was worse.
I guess you're welcome to send up a representative. You don't have to write in nice neat lines. You can write sideways, right? You're welcome to come up yourself, or if you have a representative, I suppose.
You're up writing on the preserve board. I want to give you about 30, 45 more seconds. So if you've written one or two things, if you could step back. I will read these out loud really quickly for you. Just to remind you of the timeline, this is all data gathering. We have a couple more months left of data gathering. You might see some other events like this come forward. You are welcome to attend those. Come to the rest of the meetings that we're doing this week with the focus groups. It's a little bit of a deeper dive. Great question. I just got asked, how do I know where they are? I will tell you right now, but the other way you can know is the town's website, and I believe that Rita's posted it on Facebook. So there are two tomorrow. Tomorrow is Wednesday. They're both at Town Hall at the campus. There's one at 8 a.m. and there's one at 5:30 p.m. The one on Friday is at noon, and it will be at the library. So I'm happy to repeat that later as well. So we are also engaging the employees as part of this process so that you're aware of that. And we've got an employee survey and we've got some meetings with employees that we're doing as well. The idea is that I'm hoping from tonight, what you take with you is two things. The first is our appreciation, because without people like you, Madison wouldn't be the type of community that it is, and it will be continuing into the future. With your sort of engagement and participation, your ability to like share your thoughts in the way that you did tonight, that's what makes Madison special, what makes it unique, and what's going to carry it through. A lot of different ideas came out tonight, and if you're like me, the first question is, well, how do we now decide which of these ideas are most important? For me, at this stage, it's more like a preponderance of information. So what I do with all of these thousands and thousands and thousands of bits of data, which will be 100% available for you to look at and review and do your own fact checking, is I create a series of reports that talk about what are the most common themes. And from that, we start talking about, are these common themes priorities, or are these goals? Are they focus areas? Are they objectives? All that language around strategic planning. And the Strategic Planning Advisory Committee is designed to help me with that, because while I might be good, I hope I'm good at facilitating and strategic planning, I will never know Madison the way you know Madison. So they're going to be super helpful. You're always welcome to reach out. I'm going to walk over here to the preserve board. Take a photo of this. This is awesome. In terms of speed reading, I have no idea what this means. I'm not going to stop and ask. Jerry Davis, Madison, his family. E.C. Scranton Memorial Library, Salt March and LIS quality, Our American Flag, Greenscape, tranquil and intangible cultural heritage, green spaces, nature, woods, wildlife, water, scenic road, Route 1, historic homes and buildings, beaches, Ham State Park, thank you for not making me say that whole thing, and open space, Camp Laurelwood, Pride Fest on the Green, our great library, town beaches, Hamo, despite the sea level rise, community spirit, beaches, our historic homes, structures, ruins and remnants, our forest, beaches and rivers, historic and new farms, town beaches for town taxpayers, keep seniors in town, help with money, Norman Rockwell for our downtown, open spaces, farms and beaches to all, town green, historic homes, our quaint historical downtown, small town charm, our schools, the reputation and the infrastructure, our American flag, shoreline, greenway trail, sand dunes, historic homes, academies, surf club, with a whole bunch of check marks, by the way, there are lots of check marks here. Shoreline and associated wetlands, Congo Church, Bower Park, stop cluster housing downtown. That's less of a preserve and more of a stop for whoever wrote that, but Scenic Route 1, BPRD, oldest in the USA, farms, surf club, movie house, our scenic roadway designated on Route 1, our greenways and trails. I'm seeing a lot of commonalities here, and despite the fact that we're all going to have some differences on what we think is most important, I think what I'm seeing here is you have a lot of a likeness in what you think is most important as well. And that's what's going to carry us through the strategic planning process. Where do our values and ideas align the most? And in areas where they don't, how can we continue to have conversations about that to make Madison what it potentially can be in the future? You have an amazing town. I mean, I walked through here the first couple of times and I said to myself, is there any place in town that's like not pretty? And so I thought to myself, oh, let's go ask some people. And they kind of, I literally asked them that. This is postcard perfect. Is there any place in town that's like not pretty? And they looked at me and they had this funny look on their face and they're like, no, I don't think so. Okay, then there's my answer. So I like, did Peggy leave us? Is she still? Oh, she's shifted corners. I'd like Peggy to take us out. I'll be here for a while taking pictures. You're welcome to take pictures. We're gonna do a report. We'll put it online, so you'll have access to all of this information. So Peggy, would you like to close us out?
Sure. Well, thank you for keeping everybody engaged. Thank you for being here, because obviously you demonstrated that we care so much about this town and we want to preserve as much as we can. So I just encourage you to stay involved. There'll be information continually updated on the town website about where we are in the process. The Board of Selectmen will be having meetings so we can take public comment. We'll have a public hearing for the actual strategic plan. The survey is critical, so please get that out to as many people as, I'd like to get as many people taking that survey that took the cannabis survey, which was 911. So, and the Academy survey was almost 2,000. So I know we can get people to do it. So let's just try to make an effort to get, we're around 500 or so right now. So the next couple of weeks, just if everybody can make a push to get the survey. And, you know, we're just excited to get this moving forward. This isn't going to solve all our problems, but it should help us give some guiding light so that our boards and commissions know what direction that the people want us to head in. And that's what the goal of this really is. And as we build our budgets, we have priorities and we have goals and objectives that the community wants us to follow. So that's why we're trying to do this. But thank you for once again for coming out tonight. I do want to also shout out the Plan of Conservation and Development is also an important tool for the town. We have the chair of our planning and zoning commission. Sheryl, stand up, please. And I think this is a lot of this is the land use in our community and how we live in our community. And planning and zoning is the regulatory body that has a huge impact on all that. So it's critical that the community gives feedback to their process. So they're going to be doing a lot more outreach, I think, over the next couple of months to try to get similar feedback. But this is going to be integrated into their plan as well as important goals and objectives for the community. So stay involved. And then the one last thing, I'll give one more plug, is there's always been this conversation about we didn't know this was happening or we didn't hear about this. I just encourage people, a lot of you probably are signed up for Madison Alerts, but that is a way to get information about what's going on in town. We have about 2,000 people that subscribe to that. It pushes text messages, email, you can pick and choose how you get it. So if you're not getting those now, please go to the website, sign up, and then you'll be up to date on everything going on in town because we send out a bi-weekly community update. These types of things are always in that update. Any kind of events, town meetings, or important things going on in town. So I'll just end that with that and let you guys go home and have more pizza or dinner or a nice beverage when you get home. So thank you very much.
Yes, I can. You're close. All right, you should be.
Hey, Anthony, I can unmute now. Sorry, I think we're all good.
Okay.
You stopped recording now. I just stopped recording.